Hi, my name is Josh Becker. I'm founder of Custom Calls, and today I'll be showing you how I make my turkey calls. First of all, let's look at the tools that I use. Okay, so over here we have this lathe. It's nothing special. I mean, it's a 10-inch lathe and has different speeds on here, and it does everything I need it to do. Then I have the lathe tools over here. Having good lathe tools is very important to making turkey calls. The sharp ends will allow you to make perfect curves and whatnot. Alright, and then over here I have a chop saw, and I probably use this most out of any tool besides the lathe. And then for drilling the holes in the bottom of the turkey call, I have a drill press here. And then I have a hand sander here, and I use it at the end, but there's several other tools that I use, but these are just the ones that I use most. Now I'd like to show you how far I've come in making turkey calls. Okay, so here we got the first call that I made, and this was a slate over a wood soundboard. And you could see on the back here, its holes are not in line, and the tone overall just wasn't good at all. So I made some adjustments and came up with this call design. And this one doesn't even have a soundboard in it, it's just slate. And I didn't mind this one, but the sound on it is just not very turkey-like. It's kind of fake. And then I tried making a glass over wood call, and this call turned out all right, although the edges were kind of sharp on it, and then again the holes on the back were not in line, and the soundboard in it just didn't look very good. And then once I tried it, the sound of it it didn't really have that pop to it that I really like and that good turkey calls have. And then this one here, it's the same thing, a glass over wood, and this one, the soundboard got too close to the bottom of the call, so it has a very stuffed up feeling or sound. And then I made this slate one here, and this is a slate over glass. It has a very good sound, and I really love it. And it's a golden spur, and you can see the holes are a lot better. I made a template that I follow now for making my holes. And then here's the one that I'm most proud of. I made a crystal over slate call, and I got the slate custom engraved, and then I ordered some strikers online. Just you order the top separate, and then the piece right here, that's a different piece, and I just glue them together. I'll show you later. Here's another. This is a diamond wood striker, and both of these make different sounds that I really like. Both of them sound great. They just are a little bit different. This one's a little bit lower, and this one's a little bit higher, but I don't have a preference. But this call, once I made it, I knew it was a great call. It really has a good pop to it. I don't know if you know what I mean, but on the really nice turkey calls, they have a different pop that you can feel in your ear, just like something pounding in your ear. And this one gives that pop in your ear. And then here are some strikers I've made. I found that just buying the strikers online, you can buy the two pieces and glue them together. I found that doing that works best because trying to replicate strikers is very difficult. by doing it by hand. And strikers are, every ounce will make a difference in sound. So here are some different ones I've made, but none of them turned out too well. They were fun to make though. And then over here I made some diaphragm calls, and they turned out all right, but it's hard to get a consistent pressure on the reed, so it's hard to market them when you can't make a consistent call. So I've played around with that some, but overall just these pot calls here are my best calls, and I just love them. They are awesome. I can't wait to try them this spring. So what I mean when I say a crystal over slate or a glass over wood is that there's a crystal glass surface here. And then under that dark part there, that's a slate. And that's the soundboard, and that's what the sound waves reflect off. And so, for example, here, you can't see on the slate, but underneath here, I've got glass as a soundboard, and that's what the sound waves reflect off. And here I've got a wood soundboard, and on top I've got glass, and then that lighter part down there, that's the wooden soundboard. Here I got a slate over wood, and each soundboard creates a different sound that's unique to each call. So I order the strikers with two pieces, and it's just a top here and a bottom, the striker. And all we do is glue them together. We just put a little bit of glue on there, then glue it together, and you got a striker. So like here's the final result, and then did the same thing with this. And now we can't pull them out. And you got a striker, and it's very easy, and turns out to be a great striker. Okay, so when I order the surfaces and soundboards, this is just what they come like. And then I insert them into the call and glue them in. This is a slate soundboard, and this one here is a glass soundboard, and I get this custom engraved online. Somebody does it. And I just order it, and it comes in like this. So I get my custom logo on it. And here's just a glass surface that I'd put on a turkey call, such as this one. Okay, now the first step in making a turkey call is to get a board and mark it 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm just going to cut right along this line here. Okay, now I got two pieces of board that are both 4 1/4 inch by 4 1/4 inch. And now the next step is to glue them together. Okay, so just apply a little bit of glue there. Make sure I get it all around the entire piece of board. Then I'll do the same thing to the next piece. Okay, now that I've got the glue on there, put them together. Make sure the grain is going in the same direction. And let's put them together there and grab a clamp and clamp them together. Make sure I get them as tight as possible. Having a seam in your cowl does not look good at all. Alright, now I've got that. I just have to let it glue up and I'm ready for the next step. Okay, so I already have this one glued up here. You can see this one's made out of, or I glued 3 different pieces of wood together, but the process is the same. Okay, now the next step is to draw a line from corner to corner on this block here, and that will find your middle of your block, and from there the next step is to drill a hole. Alright, now to do this we need to make sure it's very critical to make sure the holes are perfectly vertical, so to do that we will use a drill press. This template will help me get the correct spacing for the rest of the holes. Okay, now here's one. I've finished drilling the holes, drilled all the way through, and you could see I skipped ahead and I started rounding off the corners. Okay, now we have to start shaping the caul, and to do that we use a lathe, and in order to mount it to the lathe we have to have a chuck, and here I have a chuck and I've screwed it onto the wood here. Now we just have to fasten it to the lathe. Okay, now I got it mounted on there. I'll use this gouge here to carve the wood. Okay, now that we've got it round here, I'm just going to take this tool here and clean it up a little bit. Okay, now I want to make this outermost part, this piece of wood out here, I want to make that 1/2 of an inch. So I've marked it here at 1/2, and I'll thin all of this here down to that mark there. Now that I'm getting close to this 1/2 inch mark here, I need to make the diameter just right for the surface that I'm going to put in there. Okay, so I just kind of eye it here, and then I will make a line and see if it fits. Okay, let's see if this fits. And looks like it's just a bit small. So I'll carve out a little bit more on the inside here. Okay, now that we know the slate fits in there, we're just going to trim it down to this 1/2 inch mark here. Alright, now we have it down to 1/2 of an inch, and now we just need to make the surface for the glass to sit on. Alright, now we got the ledge for the surface to sit on, so now the next step is to dig out the rest of this except for a small ring around here to leave it for a podium for the soundboard to sit on. Okay, now that we've got it kind of cleaned up, we want to put a groove on this, the thing that the surface will be sitting on, and the podium for the soundboard. This will help with the gluing. It gives something for the glue to sink into. Okay, now we got the inside shaped and it looks good. Now the next step is to shape the outside. So this call here that I'm turning right now will end up looking most like this. The outside will be shaped like this. At the groove on this call on the lathe, I'll make this indent here, and then it'll bulge back out for the bottom part. Okay, now the last step in making yourself a turkey call is inserting this soundboard. Now we'll get glued on and place some glue on here. Insert it. That will glue there. And then take your surface, whatever it is, and insert that and glue it on. Okay, so I use polyurethane on this call and most of my calls, and it's just a nice clear finish that gives it a nice glossy, rich look. So here's what this is probably my best one I've made so far. Okay, here's a selection of the calls I've made. I'm out here trying to locate some turkeys. We saw them from the road, but they kind of disappeared in this creek bottom here. Now we want to see if we can locate them. Thank you for watching this show. I hope you enjoyed it. I just want to thank Mr. Schmidt for letting me go on his land for calling that turkeys, and I want to thank the staff at TCC TV for making this whole thing possible.